considered that one of the most common and costly mistakes organizations make is assuming that a top individual performer will naturally become a great leader? I've seen it so many times. In this clip, Tino talks about how companies used to invest heavily in leadership development, from cross-functional exposure to executive coaching and deep assessments, and how many organizations today just throw people into leadership roles without any preparation or support. He also unpacks why leadership fit matters, how organizations can better evaluate talent beyond first impressions, and why understanding human behavior may be more important than ever in this rapidly changing workplace. Because in the future of work, leadership is not just about performance, it's about helping other people perform at their best.
Yeah, I think two things on that. One of the things, you remember back in the day, groups like IBM, they would spend hours and hours in terms of training before people, and maybe they'd have to go into 6 different departments and work with those people before they were ready to come out. Now, a lot of companies, you do get thrown in more to those roles in terms of positions of leadership. And the other thing, going back to the ChurchNet leadership group, which we did a lot of executive coaching, and about 85% of our people were people that were moving up the ladder, and the company was investing in 6 months or more of one-on-one training with a coach, or we do assessments like Hogan and Myers-Briggs, and people know DISC. We didn't use DISC as much, but some of those things, and really do an assessment, and then do a 360 with them and get feedback. And there's always a lot of surprises there. But then the other 15% were like people that were going to lose their job or had challenges because they were put in leadership positions. One example of that is, and some of this is bad decision making on the leader's part, to put somebody in a position that they're not going to be a fit right off the bat. I'll give you one example. In sales, sometimes a company will take the number one sales professional and put them into a sales manager position. And, the people listening, there's going to be somebody that writes me a note on this, so I'm not going to say always, but a lot of times the skill set that a hunter has is very different than the skill set of a leader has. Not saying the hunter is bad. They might be the greatest salesperson in the world, but now they want to go out and find people. They don't want to have 6 people to supervise to do what they're doing. They don't have an interest or a clue. It's kind of like individual sports versus team sports. There's different skill sets. And some people are better at the individual sports. So, making those decisions around who really is talented for a particular job. And there's still probably, in our job at Retained and at Relevance too, finding the right people that can do these jobs, looking beyond the facade or the look when you first meet somebody, to understand, are they going to be a good fit for a certain position is key.
One of the biggest lessons from this conversation is that leadership is not a reward for being the best individual contributor. It is a different discipline entirely. The organizations that thrive in the future will be the ones that start viewing it as a strategic investment, and that means assessing people more deeply, understanding motivation and behavior fit, and creating environments where leaders are developed intentionally. It means recognizing that not everyone wants to lead people, and that's okay. Some individuals create extraordinary value through expertise, innovation, and execution without ever managing a team. The real challenge for organizations is learning how to identify the right strengths for the right roles. Thanks for listening to Navigate Change, Amplify Potential, where I interview leaders who have been through it and have a few stories to share.